Welcome back to The Deep Dive, the show where we really try to sift through complex ideas and give you those aha moments you can actually use. Today, we're plunging into something that honestly could shift how you see, well, pretty much everything. Building good habits, the ones that stick, and letting go of the ones holding you back. And our guide for this is the brilliant work summarized in Atomic Habits. You know, if you've ever started strong on a new goal, felt really motivated, and then boom, a few weeks later, it just sort of fizzles out. This deep dive is definitely for you. We're looking at the surprising, almost counterintuitive power of tiny, consistent changes. That whole idea of getting 1% better every day. We'll even touch on James Clear's own story, how these small shifts were crucial for him after a major injury and how they led to real long-term success. It shows how habits really do compound over time.
Exactly. And that's why this matters so much to you, whatever you're aiming for. It's not just about gritting your teeth and using more willpower. Let's be honest, willpower fades, right? It's a finite thing.
Cold.
Instead, this is about understanding the mechanics, designing smart systems that actually work with your nature, not just chasing some distant goal. The promise here, based on everything we've looked at, is that big improvements. They don't usually come from giant leaps. They come from these small, smart, daily habits stacking up, setting yourself up for, well, automatic success.
Okay, let's unpack that. Why do these tiny changes lead to such, surprisingly big results? One of the coolest ideas in Atomic Habits is thinking of habits as compound interest for personal growth. Like, if you save a tiny bit of money each day, it seems like nothing at first. But over time, wow, it grows into something huge.
It's the same principle. Those small daily choices, they might feel insignificant in the moment, maybe even pointless sometimes. But the cumulative effect, it's massive, transformative, really.
And this requires a big mental shift, doesn't it? Away from just goals.
Right, to forget about goals and focus on systems. That's the key.
So what does that actually mean, focusing on systems instead of goals?
Well, think about it. If you only focus on a goal, like running a marathon, what happens after you cross the finish line? Or if you maybe don't get there?
Yeah, you might just stop.
Exactly. People often revert. A system, though, is about building the process, the daily routines, the environment, the actions that naturally lead you there. You focus on showing up on the routine itself. The goal becomes like a natural outcome of the system you've built, not just this endpoint you're desperately chasing. It makes change sustainable.
That makes sense. And it connects to another really powerful idea, identity-based habits. This isn't just about what you do.
It's about who you become.
Yeah.
The source material is really clear on this. True behavior change is identity change.
So how does shifting focus to identity actually work? How does it change the game for building habits?
It kind of flips the whole thing on its head. The idea is you become your habits, and maybe even more powerful. Every action is a vote for the person you want to become.
A vote? I like that.
Yeah. So say you want to be a writer. Every time you just sit down and write one sentence, even just one, you're casting a vote. You're saying, I am a writer. It's not just a phrase. It's how we build ourselves.
Okay, so the practical step is?
Decide who you want to be, what kind of person, and then reinforce that identity with tiny wins. Like, if you want to be a healthy eater, choosing fruit over cookies once isn't just one healthy choice. It's a little vote. It whispers, yep, I'm that person.
Ah, okay. Those small acts make the identity feel real.
Exactly. They solidify it, making the next aligned choice feel more natural.
All right, so we know why small habits work and who we need to focus on becoming. Now let's get into the nuts and bolts, the how. And this is where the habit loop comes in. It's the core framework, right?
Absolutely. Every habit, good or bad, follows the same pattern. Cue, craving, response, reward. It's a 4-step feedback loop.
Cue, craving, response, reward. Got it.
And if you understand that loop, you've basically got the keys to the kingdom. You can build good habits and you can take apart the bad ones.
Okay, let's break it down. Law number 1.
Law 1, make it obvious. The cue. So many habits just run on autopilot. We don't even notice the triggers, the cues. So the first step is always awareness. You can't fix what you don't see.
Makes sense. How do we get more aware?
The sources really push implementation intentions. These are super specific plans, not just I'll exercise, but I will exercise at 6 a.m. in my living room. Removes all the guesswork.
Okay, specificity helps.
Yeah, and using things like habit trackers or scorecards just to notice your current patterns. What triggers that snack craving? What leads you to pick up your phone? And maybe the simplest one, use powerful visual cues. Put your running shoes by the door. Leave your vitamins out next to the coffee maker. Make the cue impossible to miss.
And I love the idea of habit stacking, using routines you already have.
Yes, it's brilliant. The formula is just, after current habit, I will new habit.
Like, after I brush my teeth, I will floss one tooth.
Exactly. Or after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. You're linking the new thing to something that's already rock solid.
But what if your existing routines feel a bit messy? Are some habits better anchors?
That's a really good point. Yeah, definitely. The best anchors are things you do consistently every single day without fail. Things with a clear start and end, like waking up, brushing teeth, meals, getting into bed. If things feel chaotic, just pick 1 or 2 really solid anchors to start.
Okay. Avoid stacking on something that's already inconsistent.
Right. And don't try to stack too much at once. The key is making the next action obvious right after the anchor. Leverage the momentum you already have.
Got it. Okay. Law 2. Make it attractive, the craving. This feels intuitive. We stick with things we actually want to do, or at least associate with pleasure.
Precisely. And a great tactic here is temptation bundling.
Right, pairing something you want to do with something you need to do.
Exactly. Like you only get to watch your favorite Netflix show while you're on the treadmill, or listen to that podcast you love only when you're doing chores.
Bundling the temptation with the task.
Clever.
It really works. And then there's a whole social angle, which is fascinating. Oh yeah, the influence of people around us.
Huge influence. We're wired to imitate the habits of those around us. The sources talk about the influence of the close, the many, and the powerful.
The close, the many, the powerful. Break that down.
Okay, so the close, that's your inner circle. Family, friends, coworkers. Their habits are super contagious, often without us even noticing. The many, and that's like tribal norms. What does society see as normal? What are the trends? If everyone is doing it, it feels more attractive. And the powerful, these are the people we admire, look up to. Leaders, role models. Their actions carry extra weight.
So we kind of absorb habits from all these groups.
We do. So the actionable thing for you is join communities where your desired habit is normal. Find your tribe.
Or consciously surround yourself with people who model what you want to do. Make the habit attractive by making it socially normal, even desirable.
And for bad habits, you flip it. Make them unattractive. Really focus on the negative consequences. Highlight their negative outcomes. Don't just think, I shouldn't eat junk food. Think about how sluggish it makes you feel, how it impacts your energy. Make it visceral.
Right. Connected to immediate downsides.
Exactly. And also reframe your mindset. This is powerful. Instead of, I have to go for a run, shift it. Wow, I get to go for a run. I get to move my body.
Change the feeling around it.
Yeah.
From chore to privilege.
Yeah, it totally changes the craving. Makes you almost look forward to it.
Okay, moving to law 3. Make it easy. The response. This is all about reducing friction, making it almost ridiculously simple to start.
Yes. And a key insight here is that repetition, not time, is what makes habits stick. It's about the number of reps you get in.
How many times you do it, not how long each time.
Right. Which leads straight to the amazing 2-minute rule.
Yes. Just start with 2 minutes.
Start with just 2 minutes of the habit. It seems almost too simple, but it beats inertia, that feeling of, I don't want it.
I use this for meditation. 20 minutes felt impossible, but 2 minutes, I could do
No,
more.
exactly. It builds what they call a gateway habit. It gets you started and often leads to more. It's just about showing up.
So the advice is, scale down your habit to the smallest possible version. What's the absolute minimum? Read 1 sentence, not a chapter. Do 1 push-up, not 50.
Precisely. And automate good habits wherever you can. Automatic savings transfers, meal delivery kits, reminder apps. Make the good choice the default.
It taps into that law of least effort, right? Our brains are lazy.
Totally lazy. I mean, efficient. We naturally drift towards the easiest option.
Right. Efficient.
So the strategy is clear. Make good habits easy and bad habits hard. Engineer your environment.
Like prepping healthy food.
Yes, prep your environment to support easy choices. Chop veggies on Sunday, lay out workout clothes, leave your guitar out, not in the case.
Reduce the steps between you and the good habit.
Absolutely. If the healthy snacks are right there and the junk food is hidden away, you're much more likely to make the better choice without even thinking.
And you can really dial this up, make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible.
Yeah, using things like commitment devices and friction, automate the good stuff, like savings, but actively add friction to the bad stuff.
Like uninstalling distracting apps.
Perfect example. Uninstall the social media app. Only access it on a computer. Make it harder to do the thing you want to avoid, Engineer your world so the path of least resistance leads to the good choice.
Okay, that brings us to the final law. Law 4. Make it satisfying. The reward. This feels crucial for making habits stick long term.
It really is. It taps into basic human psychology. We repeat what's immediately rewarding. Our brains crave that instant gratification.
That quick dopamine hit.
Exactly. That immediate reward reinforces the loop cue, craving, response, reward making you want to do it again. Long-term benefits like future health, they're just too far away to be motivating in the moment.
So we need to find ways to make the reward immediate.
Yes. And simple ways work best. Use visual rewards, like a habit tracker. Seeing that streak of X's on your calendar feels good. It's instant visual proof you're winning.
Yeah, that visual progress is surprisingly powerful.
It is. And also, actually, celebrate small wins. Acknowledge your progress. Stuck to your habit for a week? Great. Give yourself a small, healthy reward. Reinforce the positive feeling.
And this ties into consistency over perfection.
Absolutely vital.
Yeah.
Habit tracking keeps you accountable because it makes progress tangible, but the key insight is missing once is okay. Missing twice is a pattern.
Don't let one slip up derail everything.
Exactly. Life happens. You'll miss a day. The goal isn't perfection. It's to not break the chain completely. Just get back on track the next day. No big deal.
And social accountability can help with that consistency.
Hugely. We're social creatures. We care about what others think, whether we admit it or not, and commitments are stronger when public.
So tell someone your goal.
Yeah, just sharing your habit goal with someone you trust can make a difference. Or you can get more formal, set up a habit contract with consequences with a friend or coach.
Like if I don't do my habit, I owe my friend $5.
Something like that. It just adds that extra layer of motivation, that little bit of external pressure for those days when your own drive is low.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly to some of the more advanced ideas, like the truth about talent. How does talent fit into habit building?
It's not about forcing yourself into habits that go against your grain. Habits actually amplify your natural strengths. The key is finding habits that are aligned with your personality, things that feel more natural and sustainable for you.
So play to your strengths,
Yeah.
essentially. If you're not a morning person, don't force a 5 a.m. workout habit.
Maybe not. Or find a way that works with your night owl tendencies. It involves some self-reflection. What energizes you? What do you gravitate towards naturally? Are you analytical, creative, detail-oriented? Then build habits that use those muscles. A naturally organized person might find daily tidying easy and satisfying. Someone else? Maybe not so much. Find your zone.
Finding your zone. That sounds like the Goldilocks rule, keeping things challenging, but not too challenging.
Exactly. The challenge is just right, not too hard or easy to stay motivated. Too easy, we get bored. Too hard, we get discouraged and quit.
That sweet spot.
That sweet spot leads to peak motivation, helps you get into that flow state where you're totally absorbed.
So the advice is to keep tweaking things.
Yeah. Adjust difficulty to stay engaged. Always push just beyond your current ability. That little bit of stretch keeps it interesting, keeps you growing.
Which raises an interesting point. The downside of good habits. Can good habits actually be bad?
Well, not bad exactly, but they can lead to stagnation. If you just go through the motions without refining them, they become mindless routines.
You're consistent, but not improving, like running on that treadmill at the same speed forever.
Precisely. The sources emphasize that true mastery involves continuous improvement. It's not just forming the habit, it's refining it.
So what's the fix?
Reflect, review, and revise habits regularly. Take time, maybe once a month, look at your progress. What's working, what isn't? Where can you make that next 1% improvement? Can you try a new technique? Increase the difficulty slightly. Don't just settle, keep pursuing growth. It's never really done.
Wow. Okay, so let's try and wrap this all up. We've seen the incredible power of tiny, consistent actions, that whole compound interest idea. And we've walked through the 4 laws. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, make it satisfying. A really elegant framework.
And we hammered home focusing on systems over just goals and how crucial identity is. You really do become your habits, casting those votes every day. You're the architect.
So, as you, our listener, go about your day, here's a thought. Considering everything we've just unpacked, what's one vote you can cast today for the person you want to become? How can you use one of the 4 laws, obvious, attractive, easy, satisfying, to make that vote happen? Or maybe what tiny piece of friction can you remove right now to make a good habit feel almost inevitable? Lots to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.